I want to examine what the federal government can do to encourage the adoption of approaches to make our community safe. Because every one of us rely on our police to keep us safe. And every member of our police department put their lives on the line to do just that. We want to effectively and efficiently reduce crime and keep those neighborhoods safe. In the 1990s, with the leadership of then Senator Joe Biden and others, we passed legislation to create and fund the COPS program. Another important initiative. It put thousands of new officers on the street, but it also, just as importantly, encouraged some innovative policing techniques and training. Law enforcement leaders in cities and towns throughout the country, bolstered by this national support, revolutionized the way policing was done throughout the country. And we saw the unprecedented drops in violent crimes during the 1990s. Unfortunately, that progress stalled in the last decade as federal funding for state and local law enforcement dried up, and federal attention to find the best approaches to reducing crime wavered. Rates of crime stayed largely stagnant despite skyrocketing incarceration rates. Some communities saw, and very frighteningly, significant resurgence in violent crime. One of the factors that prevented the crime problem from worsening in the last decade was continuing innovation at the local level. Enterprising police chiefs and hard-working law enforcement officers and judges and community leaders worked together to find new and more efficient crime reduction strategies. A lot of communities saw this pay off in many, many ways. Now, the economic downturn has put even greater strain on our communities' efforts to keep crime rates down. In response to this, Congress and the President acted decisively, including $4 billion in federal assistance to state and local law enforcement in last year's stimulus legislation. I fought hard for that funding. The results are being felt. Crime rates are coming down. Police departments are adding or retaining officers there, but again, implementing new initiatives as we go into this new century. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? In Burlington is sort of the hub of a county which has about a quarter of our state's population. Why do you believe this is the best approach for Burlington? How do you feel it's worked or has not worked?
The idea is that you bring together a variety of potential sanctions ranging from civil or municipal tickets to time with restorative panels that are made up of community members and victims of crime, and educate the person as to the impact of their actions, and then give them some kind of alternative sanction, community service, restitution for damaged property or stolen property, things along those lines. And the idea is that if you can change their path through those low-level alternative sanctions, that hopefully they won't enter the justice system, which is much more costly and potentially less effective for those low-level offenses.
Can you name one or two things you feel is the most effective in the technology you've used?
Right now, law enforcement spends millions of dollars annually to purchase and maintain computer-aided dispatch and records management systems that are often built on aging technology. Technology changes rather quickly. In addition to that, our prosecutors, our courts, corrections, our public defender system all build parallel systems, and then we spend money to connect those systems together, rather than looking at it as one integrated justice information system, one scalable record that could exist about an event that starts when a dispatcher takes a call in a 911 center and ends when potentially someone ends up in a correctional facility. One thread of common information that could be fed back into giving us robust information about predictive analytics and other information.
And wouldn't it be possible to do that in a way to have enough safeguards for the obvious privacy concerns?
Absolutely. Contemporary technology would allow you to create silos of access within that integrated system to ensure that information only flowed in the directions that were applicable.